Hello and welcome to our ninth class. Today we will be exploring the topic of indexicality, which is a very important topic not only in linguistic anthropology, but also in anthropology in general and in different disciplines such as philosophy or art. To understand the concept of indexicality, it's useful to think about our index finger and how it indexes, because that's the idea of indexing, right? So indexicality refers to the phenomenon of a sign pointing to or indexing a set of possible social characteristics, such as economic situation, race, gender. This can be any kind of sign, for example, the clothes we're wearing, the way we are moving, our hairstyle. But what especially interests us today is language as a sign that indexes social characteristics. And this happens automatically in the mind of the listener, that at the same time as she or he or they are listening to linguistic practices, they are automatically connecting them with social characteristics. This happens because every macro level social construct, such as race, class, ethnicity, or gender, is composed of countless micro level phenomena that we reproduce in our daily behavior. We have read two texts to explore the concept of indexicality. The first one forms part of this book, Homegirls, Language and Cultural Practice Among Latina Youth Gangs, by Norma Mendoza-Denton, who is a linguistic anthropologist in UCLA. In this book, Norma looks at youth gangs, but she looks at them not having as the main focus violence, but thinking about these gangs as political organizations. And with this perspective, what she sees is that these political organizations, these gangs, are organized around ideology. In the high school where she does her fieldwork in California, she sees that there are two main youth gangs in the high school where she's doing the fieldwork, the norteñas and the sureñas, and that this dynamic difference in the two gangs, the signs that belong and represent each of them, this is a local distinction that is powerful enough to organize the individual's daily practices, but it's at the same time so fine-grained that it would easily be missed out by an observer who is oriented to maybe common assumptions about Latinas in the United States. This conflict between these two ideological political organizations, these two gangs in this high school and in this community in general, connects to nationalistic ideologies and can be categorized as two groups. One that norteñas that identify with the North, with the US, with Chicanas, and the other one sureñas that want to ideologically connect to Mexico and to the global South in general. So the way these young Latinas index this belonging to one or the other gang is through a set of different signs, such as color, certain numbers, music, makeup style, but also, and this is what interests Norma the most, and also us in this course, language. For norteñas is the ideological ascription to the use of English, and for sureñas is the same ideological defense of the use of Spanish. You read an excerpt from this book that is an example in which the ethnographer Norma runs into Patricia, a Latina young girl who has recently been what Norma calls jumped in, but Norma, the ethnographer, still doesn't know. So she asks her, "What's up?" And in the answer, which is only one word, or more specifically, in Patricia's pronunciation of the word with which she answers the question, nothing, because of the way she pronounces this word, that concrete pronunciation from Patricia indexes, points to this identitarian ascription new for Patricia to this Sureñas gang. And Norma is able to understand that identity ascription only by the pronunciation of the word nothing, that Patricia, who is bilingual and is completely able to pronounce the word with the standard American English pronunciation, decides to pronounce it with Spanish phonetics. So instead of pronouncing the nothing, she pronounces that sound more as a Spanish T, like nothing. And from that pronunciation, Norma is able to understand, because that pronunciation is indexing belonging to that certain gang, along with other signs that Norma recognizes in that moment, such as the colors she's wearing, the makeup she's wearing, and her hairstyle. Okay, so thinking about the concept of indexicality, the example you read, is very useful to understand how our use of language is able to index certain social categories and identity ascriptions for the listener. Okay, the second text you read was written by Jan Blommaert, who is a sociolinguist based in Belgium. He recently passed away last year. In this text that was published in the journal Current Anthropology, Blommaert reflects on the case of a Rwandan refugee in the United Kingdom who is an asylum seeker and whose nationality was disputed by the Home Office of the United Kingdom because of what was considered an abnormal linguistic repertoire. What Blommaert is trying to, the point Blommaert is trying to make is that nowadays, with globalization, the way we identify ourselves and our personal trajectories and histories have changed a lot, right? And so have our linguistic repertoire, as they are now not only connected to certain spaces, but also connected to certain times and to history of regions and history of mobility that has completely increased in the last decade. In the interview that they do to Joseph, that the Home Office agents do to Joseph, they decide that there are certain contradictions according to his linguistic repertoire that deny the nationality, the Rwandan nationality that he claims for himself, that he recognizes. And what Blommaert is showing us is how, in this case, Joseph's linguistic repertoire in his life has continuously played against him, as it has been a source of suspicion and confusion for people who at different points of his life had the power to determine what was going to be of his future because of his national identity. So thinking about the concept of indexicality, again, Joseph's linguistic repertoire was indexing certain political and historical positions, but these positions were not defined by his own experiences and trajectories, but by those trajectories and universe of meanings of the agents of the Home Office. So the interlocutors were operating in their own patterns to create these indexical connections that didn't correspond to the real indexical connections that responded to Joseph's linguistic biography. I think this is a very interesting text because it really shows us how much impact indexicality can have in the life of certain speakers, in this case, of speakers who do not correspond to the common and dominant linguistic ideologies and beliefs about what should be the connection between national belonging and linguistic repertoire. Okay, so you have a set of questions about this reading, and you also have a video to keep exploring the concept of indexicality. I hope you enjoy these readings, and I hope that this concept can be useful for you and that you can operate with it in different disciplines, interpreting how signs are connected, again, to social categories. So thank you for watching. See you next week. Do not hesitate to contact me if you have any questions. Bye-bye.